Hey guys, extra bonus video this Friday for two reasons. One, my interview with David Packman this week has been delayed. I was going to appear with the lovely and talented Mercedes Carrera, and Mercedes is not feeling well today, so I wanted to say get well soon to Mercedes. It sounds like it really sucks. And I just wanted you guys to know why, because it was sort of public, and it was sort of, anybody doesn't cancel, so I don't want any rumors. It's nothing to do with the show. It was simply a health-related thing. It has been postponed, as far as we know, not canceled. So there's that, so everybody can not have conspiracy theories. But the other thing, while I was getting back up to speed on certain issues, is I saw this. I saw this issue. The Skyrim Steam Workshop paid mod stuff. And I saw this petition, and it's like, wow, that is a lot of people who care about this issue. So my understanding of this issue is a big part of the concern is, well, okay, first it's a cultural thing. I'm sure there are a lot of people, based on this petition, that mods should be a free creation. And that was sort of the way I felt at first. And I'm not sure about that the more I think about it. These are difficult issues, but that was my first gut reaction as well, that mods should be free. The developer builds the game, they take the massive financial risk. Mods are, I guess, fan added on content. You do it so that other people can enjoy it. It's bragging rights, it's fresh content for the game. Nobody expects to get paid. That has been the mod community up until this point. The other thing that people seem to be upset about is the fact that it is a 75% skim off the top, so the mod creator only gets 25% of the revenue. Steam and Bethesda take the rest. I haven't been able to find what the split is between Bethesda and Steam, but together it's apparently 75%. I can't confirm this. This is just what I've read. And my thoughts on that, it's funny, because the reason I decided to make this video is I was talking to my husband, and I was like, the example I used, I said, that's like, when we made a TV show that the broadcaster and the cable company combined each, took 75% and left us with 25%. And we both sort of paused and went, we were probably lucky to get that much. And this is the reality, I guess, of media now. Does it being the status quo mean that it should stay this way forever? No. But this is quite a change, isn't it? I mean, user-generated content is a huge part of some games. I mean, Minecraft obviously comes to mind. Little Big Planet is another one. It's part of the experience to, Sony calls it play, create, share. And this idea that it's now a business changes the entire paradigm. Now, I mean, if somebody's a really great mod, I mean, the one that comes to mind is that Interesting NPCs mod for Skyrim. I wouldn't have minded kicking a couple bucks to that if I still played Skyrim, which I didn't. I got bored. But I mean, that's mods. Skyrim is a unique game because mods have made that game. The number one thing I hear from people who are still massive fans of Skyrim is, oh, but the mods are great. And I was like, all right, so this is part of the value of playing. Do people deserve to be compensated for that? Interesting question, right? I don't know. Now, does Bethesda deserve to make money if a mod creator is making money? Yeah, I'm good with Bethesda taking a piece and Valve taking a piece. This, I guess, is the same issue I have with YouTube right now, is I recently experience, my first DMCA experience. Well, it's not the first one, but it's the first one I contend. It's like, really? When it's music and they strip it out, I'm sort of like, all right, fine, I just won't play that game anymore. It happened on a few Disney Infinity games where the music creator flagged the video. I'm like, whatever, fine. Because it was actually all the way through the video, it was the background. But in this case, I used an Avengers clip to critique and to comment on Joss Whedon's public statements, and Universal redirected the revenue so they're making money off the whole video, even though there's a Jurassic World clip and my own commentary as well. And I went, this is not fair. I have no problem splitting, giving Universal a piece of it, but all of it? That's fishy. But that's the way YouTube works. And now it seems this has been the concern of people I know who are, free internet advocates, that increasingly the internet is becoming tunnel, that there are these pathways, these portals that are actually controlling a lot more of the internet and a lot more of what we see than we think. And they're increasingly becoming owned by a smaller and smaller number of companies. Consolidation is happening on the internet. And it's changing the way we view content. It's making the content less free. On the other hand, I get that people need to make money. And so this is a difficult issue. I wonder if Bethesda and Valve had said, we're going to take 30%, 15% each, and the rest is going to go to the mod creator. I wonder if that would make people less angry, or if the entire idea that people are making money for an IP they don't own is the issue for a lot of people. And I kind of wonder how different that is from, somebody working for a company. They didn't come up with the idea, but they're paid to create a level for a game. It's kind of the same thing, if you think about it. I think the other thing that I kind of personally went, about is that the mods are not curated, and you can get a refund within 24 hours. I personally think a 24-hour refund should be standard on Steam. I think that if you download a game, try to install the game, and can't, you should be able to get your money back. I've had a few games that I bought on a sale, and so they were older games, but I tried to make them run on my PC, and they just wouldn't go. And it was a video incompatibility thing on my system, and it would have involved going in and doing, and I won't muck with a game too much. If it's a simple fix that takes 5 minutes, fine. But if I have to fight with the thing for 4 hours to get it to work, I'm not doing it. And I think I should be able to get my money back, especially since, compatibility is the thing that drove me away from PC gaming in the 90s. I know we're going back a while. Was it the 90s? Might have been the early 2000s. It was a Vampire the Masquerade game was a game that made me initially break up with PC gaming. And I stuck with it for a little longer because of, games like Planescape Torment that came out. But I played, it was an Activision Vampire the Masquerade. I think it was called Redemption or something like that. But it only ran on 6 different video cards. And at the time, I really wasn't aware of how PC gaming worked, of what the different components were. I was still in university. And so I'm like, what does this mean? I don't know. My computer's pretty new. I'm assuming it's this. And I went home and I tried to install the game, and it didn't work. It worked, but it didn't work well. And so I called the tech support number. And they wouldn't support the game. They wouldn't give me any help because I didn't have the 6 different video cards this game would run on. And I was like, this is crazy. Can I have my money back? No, buyer beware. And to me, no refunds is not the greatest business practice, because I know, based on that experience and based on some other experiences, if I can't take a minor risk with a purchase, I'm not going to make that purchase. There are certain things, like underwear. I understand why you can't return underwear, right? But, for instance, my first attempt at downloading a AAA game was on my PS3, and I have one of those old, like, first generation back compatible PS3s that's only a 60 gig hard drive. So Uncharted 3 would absolutely not fit on my hard drive. And even though PlayStation has a no refund policy on the Surface, they gave me my money back, because I pointed out to them that, hey guys, your game is, I think it was something like 45 gigs, which I would have had room for because I barely used the hard drive on my PS3. But, I said, you don't have on your site that you need double the download space to do an install. And they were like, yeah, you're right, fine, here's your money back. I was like, fine, I just used it on other PlayStation products. I just took the credit. That's the way to do business. And I think that with PC gaming, I think that, and people have said 24 hours is not enough time. Say you don't download it right away, say you discover a problem later on. And I think they have a point there, in that I have done that. I've downloaded something because the link was right there, or the price was right, but I didn't install it right away. And when I eventually did install it, I discovered the game was broken. Now that is a bit, no, you should install it and try it right away. Sometimes you don't have the time, right? People have busy lives. And the reality is with PC gaming, they know when you download the game. They know when you install the game. They watch everything you do if you're on an internet connected computer or console. The amount of big data involved is staggering with this stuff. And, I don't know if a customer service guy would have access to that. Holy cow, I hope they don't have access to that sort of information. But it does exist. And, I think that long term, it's better for a business for the customer to be satisfied. And they know if you do it all the time, if you're constantly asking for your money back, then no, it's going to be this person is abusing the system. But I'd say, 3 general, unless it's, a game that is clearly broken. But this is the issue with these online businesses, is it's not the old customer service model where you go into a store and you talk to a real person, and people were in retail empowered to make decisions regarding whether or not to exercise judgment on a one-time thing. If somebody made sense, if someone was being reasonable, if you wanted to retain the customer, it's like, okay, we're going to make a deal here. Increasingly, it's all about policy, and that's not our policy, especially in online stuff. I mean, the most ridiculous thing I've done recently is I ordered something for my mother from ThinkGeek. And I do one big purchase because it is expensive as crap to order stuff from ThinkGeek in Canada, because there's grotesque brokerage fees. So the only way to do it is to do it in one whack, because for those of you who don't know, the brokerage fee costs the same no matter how much in taxes you're paying. It's a separate fee. It's a fee for them to do the paperwork for your package across the border, and it's insane. And so when they had left this particular item for my mother out of the shipment, and it was Christmas, and I said, this got left out, and they said, we'll send you another one. I'm like, well, am I going to get charged brokerage or shipping or taxes on this item. I've already paid for it. It was on the list that, border security cleared, but it wasn't in the box. We have no control over what the government charges. And that is when Liana gets angry. You're charging me for your mistake and saying there's nothing you can do about it. Of course there's something they could do about it. They could reverse the charges. Now, so far, I haven't been billed for that, but it was sent, I think it was sent DHL. And those courier companies can take up to 6 months to bill you for taxes and brokerage. So I'm still waiting for that bill. And if I do get a bill for that shipment, I will make that known, because that's bad business. And this is being spread around, this valve thing, this is being spread around as an ethics issue. It's really not. There is nothing unethical about people deciding to charge for a product, no matter who makes it. It's a question of, is this good business? And they could say it's business ethics, but it's really not. It's customer satisfaction, right? This isn't really an ethical issue. This is a keeping the customer happy issue. And that doesn't make it less valid. I think it makes it just as valid, if not, more valid. If you want a successful company, you can do everything completely by the book and no one will want to buy your crap because it's not a nice experience. And I've been a little worried about Valve being a publisher, a content distributor ever since, Left 4 Dead 2 got forced on my machine. I've never bought Left 4 Dead 2, but it's sitting in my Steam library because I think if you buy Left 4 Dead 1, you're automatically pushed a demo of Left 4 Dead 2 on. And gee, who made Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2? Valve. And it's kind of difficult, and all companies pick their favorites, right? All companies do. But there's a line between deciding, which horse you're gonna bet on in terms of what's gonna make you a ton of money, and actually giving certain companies, or your own products, even worse in the case of Left 4 Dead, an unfair advantage. And sometimes that backfires. I mean, look at the whole thing with Apple and U2, and people were like, get this crap off my iOS device. It sometimes backfires. But, it is giving preferential treatment to a particular product. And I understand why they picked Elder Scrolls. I understand why they picked Skyrim. It's a very healthy mod community. But you always run the risk of upsetting people when you change something instead of making it a new feature for a new product. It's, people are used to free mods. They supported free mods. And now all of a sudden they're going to have to pay for them. And that, I think it's that change that people have reacted to. If it had started from the beginning as, 99-cent contact packs made by user generation, here's our favorite ones, pay $5 for 20 packs. I don't know that anybody would have had a problem, this much of a problem, at least for that. It's the fact that it is a retroactive change to an existing game. That's my guess about why people are so upset about this. So, to recap, I don't think, I've come to the conclusion in this 20 minutes, I don't think it actually is an ethical issue. I don't think Valve has done anything ethically wrong. They can choose to charge for products if they want. Even the revenue split, I don't know if it's ethically wrong. Now, this does not mean that consumers don't have a valid complaint. I think consumers do have a valid complaint. And I don't think this was the smartest business move on behalf of Valve. This is the second odd major company partnership they've done in a fairly short period of time. The, Mortal Kombat streaming download debacle was the last one, and now we've got this thing with Bethesda, and it really does seem like they're trying to up their profits somewhat, do I want to say artificially? I don't know, I guess I'll leave it with up their profits. But yeah, I think that, I mean, almost 30,000 people, well, 25,000 people, almost 26,000 people and counting. If I refresh, it's probably more. But people are upset about this. And when that many people are upset about something like this, then that means it's not the best business practice. And I think, I don't know, should Valve, now this is the next problem, should Valve reconsider at this point? And that is up to them. I'm not going to tell them what to do there because it is their business. It's their right to do whatever they want. It's my right to criticize their business. But I don't know what the thinking was behind this. And maybe that's part of it, is that they didn't present the product. They didn't sell the public on the product effectively. They didn't explain why they're doing this. If it was, look, it's costing a lot of money to host these mods, we need to recoup some of our costs, I think people would understand that. But I don't know if they've said that. And so maybe it's a rollout thing, maybe it's a presentation thing, but in one way or another, to quote Angry Joe, Valve, you done fucked it up. It's definitely not been Valve's best day. And I'm going to be watching this one fairly closely because consumer confidence is important. And since I watched, PC gaming decline, like I said back in the day, for a while, it was, there was a time I didn't play on consoles at all. I was strictly playing on PC because I enjoyed the experience more. But the minute they got into that video card war and the compatibility issues and everything being nickel dime and all that stuff, I lost interest because it was too much work to play the games. It was too much of a grind to make sure the hardware was constantly up to date. Whereas a console, a PS4 game is going to run on the PS4. Unless it's flat out broken. An Xbox One game is going to run on the Xbox One. Now, we don't know if it's going to run at 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second based on marketing these days. Hey, yeah, I went there. But it'll run. And PCs are unique in this buyer beware element that you don't know if the game is going to run. And games are play. Yes, I do review games for a living. Yes, I do interact with games for a living. But there's a definite demarcation between stuff I play for fun and stuff I play for work. And when something's for fun, I want it to be for fun. And when I have to spend $400 4 hours dicking around in an install because it's uncompatible, I get ticked off. And I think that feeling, my personal PC gaming pet peeve, is probably similar to what people are feeling about the whole mod should be free thing. They have a philosophical feeling about being consumers and consumers being valued. Consumers being valued is, I think, that. And, I can understand people being upset. It's like, oh, okay, Skyrim wasn't a fabulous base game, but, and this is what I've been pretty much said, the mods have made it so much better. So the mod community is actually a selling point when people invest in the original purchase price. Now, this is a point I didn't consider. This gets very interesting because if people are choosing to pay the original purchase price of a game, assuming that there is going to be a robust amount of mod content, and then they have to pay more for that mod content, I'd be pretty upset. That's an interesting point. All right, hopefully this is giving you guys some food for thought. I just discovered this issue early, and I didn't want to wait until next week because it's an issue now. I wanted to weigh in now, and the Feedback Friday video's already up. I just wanted to do this little extra one because this is an important consumer-related game issue. And I like to talk about those when I can, instead of just personality scandals. So this is a good one. This is an interesting one. I don't think anybody's really a villain here, but it's certainly an interesting case study. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe!